is Brian Horn, and today is December the 10th, 2022, and I am making a video about something that happened to me over 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I have put off this video. I have put it off and put it off. For at least a decade, Like I said, this happened 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. This event happened to me. It happened to me. This is like a documentary, because what I'm going to talk about actually happened to me firsthand. And there was also another gentleman involved in this. That gentleman is no longer with us. He has passed. But I'm going to talk about the event. And I'm going to start off by saying, I don't know. Like I said, I put this off for at least 10 years, more than that. And the reason why I have put it off and put it off is because there are several reasons why I have put it off, but the main reason I'm making this now is because if I passed on, then no one would hear the truth, me speaking the truth about what happened firsthand with me over 20 years ago. And this is not the only event like this that has happened to me in my life, yet this was the very first event, and it is the most traumatic event. And I am going to try my best to keep every other event that has happened to me out of this equation when I'm making this video. I'm going to try my best to strictly speak on this one sole event and the events that transpired that morning, and the psychological effects that have followed me from that moment until today, and I do not foresee this stopping in the future, because I have tried to think about how many flashbacks, if you will, that I've had about this event over the last 20-something years. And there's over 360 days in a year. Okay, and multiply that by 20. So the best low estimate that I have, where I have had flashbacks of this event and has caused me, anxiety. I mean, I relive. It's like I'm there again. You know, it's like when I can be brushing my teeth, and this will come out of nowhere. I can be taking a shower. This event will come out of nowhere. Like I said, it haunts me. I mean, it's been over 20 years, and I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it's not something that I have wanted to think about a lot lately. It is just something that's been on my mind, you know, in my heart. And it has caused me a great deal of psychological, negative psychological effects. I mean, anxiety and just, okay. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know there are going to be certain people that feel a certain way about this video. There are going to be other people that feel a certain way about this video. I mean, I cannot make the perfect video. What, you know, what someone would agree with or someone would understand or so forth, another person might think that the total opposite. So, I mean, what I've heard is nobody thinks of the same person the same. Like one person can think of me one way, the next person can think of me another way, and then another person will think of me. Nobody thinks of me the same way. Every person has their own ideas and thoughts. So, I mean, I don't know how the right way to go about this video, and I'm just going to state the facts. Everything I say in here is going to be truthful to the best of my knowledge, okay? I'm not going to add anything in to make it more dramatic, or I'm just going to, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to read you the news article that was wrote in the Daytona Beach News Journal, okay? And I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to read it. And this is the article that was wrote in the Daytona Beach News Journal the day after this happened. For some reason, I always thought that it happened on a Saturday, but it didn't. It happened on a Friday. So I will admit that I got the days mixed up, because I mean, where this transpired, we were closed always on a Sunday. So I just thought, because of, I'm going to explain, you know, something, but I just figured it was a Saturday morning, because the next day I thought we would be closed, but I was wrong about that. It did happen. It happened on a Friday, not a Saturday. A Friday morning, not a Saturday morning. But everything else, I mean, I have went over and over and over, and like I said, the low estimate, the truthful low estimate over the past 20 plus years, it's been over 20 years, okay? It happened in 2002, in April of April the 13th, 2002. That's when it happened, in 2002, April the 13th, 2002, and today is December the 10th, 2022. And I've made videos, and I've talked about the events that have happened that I'm going to talk about in this video, but I have never said actual names of like the place where I was employed at. I have always kept that out, and I have kept the names of the owner of the business out of it. Now I do believe I have said the name of the gentleman that was there with me at the time. But I've never, when I've talked about, these events that happened to me that morning that I'm going to talk about in this video, I have never said the owner's name. I've never said the establishment's name. But like I said, if I was to die, I mean, and if something bad happens to me from making this video, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. And it's not like I'm not making this video to specifically talk bad about a business or a certain person, okay? I'm not making this video to bash anybody or, like I said, I mean, that's why I said I'm trying to be as 100% truthful as possible, and I'm calling this a documentary because a documentary is true events that happened, and they happened to me firsthand. So that's why. But like I said, on the low end, I've imagined I've had a flashback about this at least 1,000 times, in 20 years. Okay. That translates to about 50 times a year, and there's 360 something days a year. So people might say, "Oh, you're crazy." I mean, that's just crazy. No, it's not. I mean, I wouldn't even say 1,000 if. I mean, I did the math. You know what I'm saying? I thought about it. I try to be as rational as possible. Like I said, I'm not making this video to add or subtract anything. I'm just, if I was to die, then nobody would know the truth. Nobody would know, exactly what I went through. But yes, I have had flashbacks about this moment, about what happened that morning. Yeah, I would say a minimum of 1,000 times over the past 20 years. Just within the last couple days, I have been having like constant flashbacks about this. And it seems to get worse around the holidays, like Christmas. And I guess, subconsciously it just, I guess it increases my thoughts, because I almost died that day. I mean, I very well, almost died that day. That is the 100% God's honest truth. So everything I'm going to say in this video about this event, I would put my hand on the Bible and swear to it. I would swear that I am telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, okay? To the best of my knowledge. So, I want my story to be told, and I want people to know that there are consequences to decisions, okay? That can have lifelong ramifications, like a ripple, like a ripple effect that can stay with somebody, you know, for an extremely long period of time. So I'm going to just read this, okay? I'm going to read the news article. I am not including any pictures, okay? Because I'm not including any pictures of anything, of anything. I am just going to include the words, the exact words that are found in the article of the Daytona Beach News Journal on April the 13th, 2020. I keep on saying 2022 because that's where we're at right now. But the Daytona Beach News Journal, April 13th, 2002. Okay, I'm going to read this and then I will explain after. Okay, this is to the best of my knowledge, unless I made some type of error speaking about it or typing it, or then I have taken verbatim from the news article, and I have pictures of the news article, but I'm not going to include them because I don't want this to be, this video to be banned on copyright issues or anything. That's why I myself took those words and I made a memo, and then I screenshotted the memo, and that's what you're going to be seeing in this video. It's just black and white, and that's all you're going to see. The words from that news article in black and white, and I'm going to speak over, as you can see right now. You're hearing my voice, and you're seeing the news article and what the news article said about that morning. But as I'm going to tell you after I read it, what is said in this article is not, I'm not going to say it's not exactly correct, but there is a lot more to it than what is in this article. And I will explain whenever I get done reading it. Okay, I'm going to start now. I'm going to just turn it over to where I can read the article. Okay, here I go. Okay, this article was in the Daytona Beach News Journal. It says Daytona Beach News Journal, and then comma, and then in parentheses, FL, which I assume to be Florida. So I guess it's the Florida Daytona Beach News Journal. And this article was wrote April the 13th, 2002, and it was under Newswatch. And the title of it is Armed Men Fire Shots in ISB Shop. And the article goes, it says Daytona Beach. Armed with semi-automatic handguns, 2 men fire shots and took about $1,000 worth of jewelry from a pawn shop on International Speedway Boulevard Friday morning. Police said 2 men in their early 20s, one of them wearing a burgundy ski mask, walked into VOLUSIA Gold and Diamond Pawn, 536 West International Speedway Boulevard, about 9:30 a.m. and started shooting. One worker hid underneath the counter, and another found haven in a storage room. No one was hurt, police said. After firing Several gunshots. The gunman took a tray filled with jewelry and escaped on foot. Anyone with information is asked to call the police at 386-671-5100. That is the end of the article. Okay, what I just read you was what was wrote in the Daytona Beach News Journal on April the 13th, 2002. And when they mention that someone hid under the counter and someone hid in a storage closet, when they say that someone hid under the counter, that was the owner of the store. That was the gentleman that passed away. To the best of my knowledge, he passed away. I only knew him as Saul. Saul was I don't remember his last name. I just called him Saul, and the owner of Volusia Gold and Diamond, that's still in business to this day, and it's a beautiful store. You know, the owner's name is GHAZI Michael Osta, and he's known by the name of Gus Osta. He's the owner of the store. And the person that hid under the counter, it was Saul, and I was the one they were talking about that hid in a storage place, a storage closet. That's me, Brian Lee Horn. But like I said in the article, what they say in the article is not when this is okay, because when someone fires, when someone, they were, okay, like I said, I can still see it. I know where Saul's standing. I know where I'm standing. I know where I'm looking at the door right in front. And Saul is to my right, you know, and I'm looking directly out. I'm at the showcase. Gus has remodeled the store. So it is, I'm sure that it's not like this anymore. And I have not been in that store in, I don't even know. I mean, at least 10 years. I mean, more than that. But I'm just being generous when I say, you know, well over 10 years. But I was standing at the showcase that had sterling silver jewelry in it. The sterling silver showcase was the cheapest showcase when it comes to fine jewelry, and it's right in front of the front door. Okay, so I'm talking to Saul. Saul's on my right-hand side, and I look at that door. I look up, you know, and I'm just going to tell you, by the grace of God, Saul was there, and God was watching over both of us, because I'll tell the whole entire story in just a minute. But whenever they say two, you know, armed men with semi-automatic handguns shoot into, Volusia Gold and Diamond, ISB, International Speedway Boulevard pawn shop, just shoot into a pawn shop and no one was hurt. Listen, whoever did the shooting was shooting at me, and they were trying to kill me. So when someone shoots at me and is wearing a ski mask, they were wearing ski mask, gloves, they were wearing long sleeve shirts and long pants. When you're wearing all that stuff and you're coming to a jewelry store, and one of them had a gun already loaded, because I can see it right now. The other one was actually putting bullets in the gun while they were standing there at the front door. And that's what I noticed. I mean, that when I noticed them at the front door, Saul was to my right, and I'm looking straight ahead, and the person that's there was two people, okay? The person on the left already, he was not loading his gun. The person on the right was loading loading his gun or loading, I mean, I can't tell. It says they were, 20-year-old males or whatever, in the article, but I can't, I can't tell, So someone must have got a better description, because all I saw was dark ski masks. They were both wearing the same thing, dark ski masks, long sleeve dark shirts, and long sleeve pants and gloves. Okay, dark gloves. That's what I remember. And they were at the door. And the guy on the right was putting bullets in his gun while he was standing at the door. While they were standing at the door. And the thing about that door is, when I worked at Volusia Gold and Diamond in 2002, there was bushes. There were big bushes that were on both sides of the door, and it guarded the entrance where people could be standing in that door, and I guess for privacy reasons, or I don't even know, but you could be standing there, and the people from per se the cars going by on International Speedway Boulevard couldn't exactly see the people that were standing there unless they were looking, because there were shrubs that kind of block the view of the front door. Now I'm sure that it's not that way now. Like I said, he's remodeled the store, and from all the pictures I see and everything, I mean, it's a beautiful store. And when I see there's no shrubs there anymore where they were last, when I was there. But yeah, so those shrubs were actually protecting them from people seeing, driving by on International Speedway Boulevard, and I guess that's why they decided to load the gun, load one of the guns right there. I like I said, this all happened within a split second, okay? But all I'm going to say is, whenever they say in this article, they just, people with, guns and ski masks shot into a pawn shop or whatever and took $1,000 worth of jewelry. Listen, I know they were shooting at me to kill me. Okay, when you shoot at somebody to kill someone, that's attempted murder. Okay, I don't care who you ask. Okay, I don't know why they were downplaying it in the article, and I still have never even found out if these people were ever caught. I mean, to this day, over 20, it's been over 20 years since it's been, this is December the 10th, 2022, and that happened April 13th of 2002. So it's been 20 years and several months, okay? But yeah, I have no clue if those people ever got caught, for attempted murder on me. And like I said, it was a miracle that nothing happened to Saul. So I'm going to tell you right now, this is me firsthand. This is Brian Lee Horn. This is my story firsthand. You heard what was wrote in the Daytona Beach News Journal on April the 13th, 2002. Now, I'm going to tell you, this, like I said, I am not embellishing anything. Okay, I'm not embellishing anything. I'm not trying to add anything. I'm not trying to subtract. But I'm definitely not trying to add. Okay, this is the truth, the whole truth, to the best of my knowledge. Okay, I'm gonna just start at the very beginning. Okay. At this time, I was working at Volusia Gold and Diamond Pawn in Daytona Beach. The owner's name, GHAZI Osta, GHAZI Michael Osta, Gus Osta. Everybody knows him by Gus, okay? I was working there at, let's just say, April the 13th of 2002, okay? And Gus said that he wanted to stay home and make his children pancakes, okay? So I was going to have to open the store by myself, okay? It was a Friday, April 13th, 2002, April 13th, 2002, okay? He told me, he was going to he was not going to come until later, that he was going to come in later, that I was going to open the store and do everything, come in, open the store, open the safe, put out all the jewelry and everything, and, take care of everything until he shows up later on, okay? Because he was going to make his children pancakes that morning, Friday, April the 13th, 2002. Now, here's the thing. there was a gun. Okay, there was a gun there. And Gus showed me there was a gun. Okay, there was a holster and there was a gun. Okay, but to the best of my knowledge, he never showed me how to. I mean, well, we never shot the gun in the first place. And to the best of my knowledge, he didn't show me like. I mean, he didn't go in depth and show me anything about the gun. And I am not. I was not a gun person. Okay, at that point, and honestly, I'm still not a gun person, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying I don't, I really didn't know a lot about guns then. I knew very little about guns then, and I know probably just as much now, 20 years later, as I did then. That's when I'm trying to tell that I'm not a gun person. I'm not extremely knowledgeable at all when it comes to firearms, okay? I'm being honest, okay? But, so he showed me the gun, and he showed me the holster, but, truthfully, I mean, now I don't know if Gus ever had anything on him at that point. I don't remember, but I remember I didn't have my own gun, and I remember that I was not carrying that gun around all the time. So this is the truth, okay? I was working there, and to be honest with you. And like I said, some people are going to believe this and some people are not, but it is the truth. I had nightmares. Long before this ever happened, okay, of the actual event that happened on the morning of April the 13th, 2002. Now, like I said, I'm not going to, some people, people can think whatever they want, but I'm telling you, I had dreams, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about vivid dreams when I sleep, okay? When I was asleep, I had vivid dreams about being robbed and being killed at that jewelry store, okay? But I needed the money. I was young. I believe I was about 23 years old at that time, okay? 23 years old at that time, and I was living in Daytona, and I needed the job and I needed the money. So I was driving from Daytona, Florida to Daytona Beach, Volusia Gold and Diamond on International Speedway Boulevard in Daytona Beach, and I was working, I believe I was working 40 hours a week. I was working 5 days a week. I believe I was working 40 hours a week there at this moment in 2002. Okay, this is all to the best of my knowledge. So I was having nightmares, like I said, long before this ever happened. But the honest to God truth is, this is the honest to God truth, okay? The morning that this happened, okay, I had a horrible nightmare about this event that transpired the morning when I woke up, okay, the night before and into the morning, I was having nightmares about, being robbed and killed in Volusia Gold and Diamond at that jewelry store, okay. I mean, that is the truth, okay. Whether people believe me or not, I mean, that's up to them, but it's the truth, okay. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is, when I woke up that morning, I knew, beyond any doubt, I knew that something bad was going to happen. I knew it, okay? But I needed the money, I needed the job, and Gus was going to come in late and make pancakes for his children. So imagine, you knowing, okay? It's like I knew something horrible was going to happen, okay? I saw it in my dream, okay? I saw it in dreams before, and I saw it, the night before, and when I woke up, I knew it was going to happen that morning. I knew it, there was no doubt in my mind, okay? And, I was scared. I mean, I was petrified, I didn't want to go into work. I mean, that would be like, I was walking, it was like I was walking into my death. You know what I'm saying? If I was to go there and do this, whatever, everything in my dreams, it's, but what did I do? Okay? I woke up, I got dressed, I drove from Deltona to Daytona Beach to Volusia Golden Diamond. I parked outside, I opened up the store, okay? I did all this. Gus was not going to be there. He was fixing pancakes for his children. I needed the job, I needed the money. If I didn't just show up, Gus was going to fire me. I mean, most likely, I'm just saying. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So I'm just saying, excuse me, most likely, I'm just saying, most likely there would have been negative consequences to me not showing up that morning, and like I said, I needed the job and I needed the money, okay? So I'm there by myself, okay? I'm there by myself, which, I'm just saying, I feel like I should have never been by myself in the first place, okay? Like I said, I've had all these, I've had 20 years to think about this. I mean, I haven't done the math. I mean, 365 or whatever times 20, I mean, that's a lot of days. And when I say 1,000 flashbacks, I mean, I'm not trying to exaggerate by saying that number, okay? So I have thought about this a lot. So I'm by myself, okay? Gus is not around. There's not a buzzer on the door, like where you buzz people in and out, where nobody can get the jump on you, at a jewelry store or, places that have, valuable merchandise inside or whatever, a lot of places for security reasons have a buzzer on the door, and that is one of the main reasons why is no one can just push open the door and start shooting, or if somebody steals something, they just can't run out the door with it, unless you hit that buzzer, the buzzer, it makes a buzzing sound and you hit a thing, whatever, it unlocks the door. And whenever it closes, it locks it back. And the next person, if you let somebody in or whatever, have to let somebody out, you hit this thing, this buzzer or whatever, and it unlocks the door. It's, so there was nothing like that on the front door, okay? There was nothing like that in the front door. And there was no cameras in the jewelry store. There was no camera. So I was there by myself, opening up the store, which I should have never been by myself, with no buzzer and no security cameras. Okay? But like I said, I needed the job and I needed the money. And like I said, that's the reason why. Even though I've been having these nightmares and premonitions, and I knew I was walking into something horrible, possibly my death, I mean, I really felt like, I was, in my dreams, I was going to die. I got robbed, I got shot or whatever, and I died in my, my dreams in that jewelry store, okay? But there I was, okay? So for the first time, and I know this, for the first time ever, I put that gun on. I put the holster on, I put the gun on, and I was wearing that holster, and I was wearing that gun. That's the first thing I did. That's the first thing I did, was whenever I had the first opportunity to put that gun on, that's what I did, okay? So I turn on the lights and everything, I open, the safe, I open up the safe, I get the merchandise out, the gun and everything, the gun's on me, and I'm putting the merchandise out, okay? And like I said, I don't know how it is now, but then it was, it was like a horseshoe. All I can explain it as like a horseshoe. That's where all the fine jewelry, the gold and the diamonds and the Rolex watches and everything was in like a horseshoe shape. And then, we could go behind the counter, and that's where we would slide the door and unlock it and put the jewelry in, and, and then that's where we would stand to show the customers and make sales. Behind us was just concrete, and then there was windows, but there were bars over the windows, okay? So I'm just saying, if I would have got caught anywhere behind in that horseshoe, there was absolutely no place I could go. No place I could go, okay? There's no way out. Because, like I said, if I was to have if I was to have gotten caught, if these people would have came in there with ski masks and guns and everything, and I was behind that horseshoe, I mean, if they were in front of me, I couldn't go that way, and I couldn't go in back of me because I was trapped between the concrete and the windows that have the bars, But I get the merchandise out, okay? I get the merchandise out, and up to up to a point where, now, like I said, I don't, it's not like this now. It probably is not, but I don't know what, like I said, I haven't been there, but there was a big, huge safe, okay? And I remember that I put all the jewelry out, and I was standing in front of that big safe, and I was putting jewelry into the showcase that was right in front of that big safe. And it was in the horseshoe, but it was at the tail end of the horseshoe. Okay, at that point, I was not trapped, like in back of, where there was the concrete and the concrete wall in the windows with the bars on it. I was not there. I was probably about 80 something percent, 90, maybe 80 something or 90% done. And I was, so in back of me was this huge safe. And, there was other things in back of me. And yes, I was trapped. I was trapped, to a degree. Because it's not like, like I said, it's hard. I'm visualizing this, and if you've never been there, it's hard to explain. So, yes, I was trapped, because, per se, I could have went. There was only two ways to get in there. You had to go. There was one way at the very beginning, and then you had to go pretty much all the way through the horseshoe, and then where the cash register is, and there were still showcases there, and you were trapped there. But it's like I said, it's very hard to explain. But next thing you know, I'm putting the jewelry out, and in the article this happened. It said 9:30 in the morning. Okay, so I had already put out 80 something percent to 90% of the jewelry, and the next I see or I hear, because you have to constantly watch the door. You know what I'm saying? You have to constantly watch the door because there's no buzzer and there's no cameras. Okay, so literally somebody could get the jump on you. If somebody pushed open that door, and you were the only one there, or God forbid you were you were in the back or something. If you had to go, I'm just saying. If you had to, just walk to the back real quick, and if you came out there, somebody could have literally been there, waiting for me with a gun or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or came into the back. But I remember there was this young white male that came in, okay, and asking for Gus. Is Gus here? Is Gus here? And, I know better than to say that I'm alone, okay? You do not want to be alone in a jewelry store with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise with no cameras and no buzzer on the door, okay, by yourself. So I made something up, and I think I made up something and said that Gus was in the back. He was in the back, in the office or something. And he's, to the best of my knowledge, I don't remember if I told him, because he was asking for him again. I don't remember if I stuck to that story, or I'm pretty sure he ended up saying, I need to talk to Gus, and eventually I had to tell him he was not there, that he was at home, making his family, his children pancakes, and that he would be here, soon. Because like I said, I'm trying to be as honest as possible, okay? Because I remember I started out the story of saying that Gus was in the back, but I believe that he knew I was lying, or he kept on asking and saying that he really needs to talk to him, or blah 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 or whatever. So maybe he was just calling my bluff. But eventually, I do believe I ended up having to tell him that maybe I walked to the back real quick and asked, or something, pretended. I don't even know, but I believe I ended up having to tell him that, Gus will be in later. He was, fixing his children pancakes or whatever, and he'll be in later. Because I remember this young white male leaving, but I had the gun on me at that point. I had the gun. I had the holster in the gun on me, But I truly believe that young white male knew I was there by myself, okay? Because this young white male was the only person that came in before the event happened. Okay? Do I believe he was casing me out and casing out, to see if Gus was there, see and if anybody else was there? Yes, I do. Okay? Yes, I do. But if there was cameras or anything, then we could have looked at the cameras, and the police could have looked at the cameras, and found, and looked at this person's face, and maybe went through the mug shots or asked people if they knew this person, okay? But no, there's no cameras. No cameras, okay? So, yeah, and believe me, I did not want to tell him I was there by myself. You know what I'm saying? I remember lying to him and telling him that Gus was in the back. I remember that, okay? But like I said, I'm trying to be as truthful as possible. Okay, so here it is. Like I said, I'm there by myself. Okay, with the gun on holster, no buzzer on the door, no cameras, by myself. Okay. And this young white male ended up walking out the front door. So I put the rest of the jewelry out, where the safe is, and there was one or two more, whatever. And then I end up at, I remember ending up at the last jewelry showcase in front of the front door, okay? There was only one way in and one way out, and that was that front door, okay? There was like the little parking space or whatever, and then there was the entrance that was, guarded or whatever by those shrubs, those green shrubs. And that was, that was the only one way in and one way out. And I remember whenever I was putting out the jewelry in that last showcase that Saul walked in. Saul walked in, okay? Now, to the best of my knowledge, like I said, Saul was a very good friend of GHAZI Michael Osta, okay, and I became friends with Saul. I think I kind of knew Saul whenever Tom worked there at VOLUSIA Golden Diamond, and because I came into VOLUSIA Golden Diamond before I ever worked there, okay. I had a friendly relationship with Gus and Tom, but mostly Gus before I ever started working there in 2002. Okay, so Saul and I would talk about watches. Rolexes, Pateks, Vacherons, you name it. High quality diamonds, high carat gold, that kind of stuff. And I remember we were talking about watches. But the thing is, whenever Saul walked in, Saul asked for Gus. And I said, no, Gus is not here. I said, Gus will be in later. He is at home. He's coming in late because he's fixing his children pancakes. I remember telling him that, okay? So this is what I'm saying, okay? If Saul was not there, I would have been there alone, absolutely alone by myself, with no buzzer on the door and no cameras whatsoever, okay? But Saul came in, and I was putting the jewelry out, and I remember that was the sterling silver jewelry showcase, okay? It was just strictly sterling silver in that showcase in front of the door, okay? Because, that was the least expensive, fine jewelry, and I think it was, for a reason. You don't want to put the most expensive there because, yeah, if you have a front door and somebody wants to, grab something or whatever, or, whatever, a robbery or something, you don't want the most expensive stuff to be the easiest stuff to get. So I remember it was all sterling silver there because I remember there was this really nice sterling silver heavy cross, crucifix cross, because I really liked it. I remember that, yeah. And I was putting the jewelry out. So Saul is to my right, and Saul already knows that Gus is not there, that he's coming in later, and I don't even remember the time that Gus said he was coming in, okay? But, so Saul is to my right. I'm putting the jewelry in that showcase, the sterling silver jewelry in that showcase. Saul is to my right, and I look up, and that is whenever I see, imagine, Saul walks in, you're talking to him, you're looking to your right, you're looking down at the showcase, putting stuff in, and then you glance up, just kind of glance up nonchalantly to make, look at the front door, and when you look up, you see, in a split second, I look up, Saul's to my right, I look up, and I see two people standing at the front door. They were both wearing dark ski masks, both wearing dark long sleeve shirts, dark pants, to the best of my knowledge, dark gloves. One person had a gun in their hand, and the other person was putting bullets in the gun at the door, at that door where it was guarded by those green shrubs. Okay, and this, like I said, I've been having dreams, but by the grace of God, only by the grace of God was Saul there. Okay, only by the grace of God. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay? I looked up and I saw this. And all I had time to do, now I had the gun on me, okay? I had the gun on me. But here's the thing, what I find out when I run and get in the storage, whatever, I don't know how to, I was out, when I'm in the storage thing or whatever, I remember trying to get the gun out and I didn't even know where the safety was on the gun. There was a safety on the gun, but like I said, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. But when I was in that pitch black broom closet, I remember first off, I remember I'm going to die. That's what I remember. I remember saying to myself, I believe I was 23 years old at that point. I remember saying, I'm 23 years old. I'm going to die. I'm going to die right here. I'm going to die right here. But then again, think about it. Poor Saul is out there. Poor Saul. Saul is about 6 foot tall, 300 something pounds. He's bald on top, and he's out there. So I'm just saying, I'm jumping ahead, but this is, I just want you to think about this, okay? Sorry. So I look up, and I see them. And Saul's to my right. All I have time to do, like I said, I have the gun on me. I can't do nothing. It happened so fast, so fast. All I had to and I remember I had shoes. Because I was wearing dress shoes that had slick soles. They were slick soled dress shoes. They were not like running shoes. They weren't like Nikes. They didn't have good tread on them. Okay, and there was carpet. I believe there was carpet, or it was either carpet or hardwood floors or something. I don't know what. I forget now. I can't say exactly what was underneath, behind the showcases then or whatever on the floor. But I remember all I did was say, Saul, 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 and I moved to my left. And I started running to my left. And I remember hearing the door push open and shots being fired. Okay? That's what I remember. I remember the door being pushed open, me running to my left, and shots being fired at me. Okay, shots being fired. Well, I didn't know 100% that they were being fired at me at that moment, but I found out later. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. When they say that in the article, some people with ski masks and semi-automatic guns just start shooting, in a pawn shop. Listen, no, they were shooting at me. They wanted to kill me. Okay, it's attempted murder. Okay. They didn't shoot at me for just why would they? When you shoot at somebody with semi-automatic, weapons, and you're wearing a ski mask, you know what I'm saying, and long sleeve shirt and pants and everything dark, all that. That's attempted murder. That is attempted murder. And there's no doubt in my mind, if Saul wasn't there and they would have caught me behind what I call that horseshoe, where the concrete wall and the windows with the bars, if they would have caught me in there, I'd have been dead. There's no place for me to go. If I could have tried to drop down to my knees and get into a ball, but they could have easily just came around there and just shot me as many times as they wanted, or they could have just reached over the showcases and pointed their guns at me and just shot me in the head, back, everywhere. That's what I'm saying. By the grace of God, by the miracle, by the grace of God, Saul was there, and that the Lord protected us. Okay. So I moved to my left, and they come to find out, this is to the best of my knowledge, and like I said, I have no reason to embellish this, okay? I mean, I'm not getting nothing out of this. This is not, and like I said, another reason why I'm making this video, and I'll explain later my philosophy when it comes to this. I mean, I have thought about, it's almost Christmas time, okay? It's almost Christmas time. It's December the 10th, 2022, okay? And it's been 20 years. I have thought about, just writing Gus a letter or calling him on the phone, and just saying, it's almost Christmas, why don't you just give me a nice Rolex for Christmas, for 20 years of, for 20 years of, flashbacks and post-traumatic stress syndrome, and thousands of at least 1,000 flashbacks, and almost dying in your store 20 years ago. I could have died there. And I've been having to live with this day after day after day. You know what I'm saying? For 20 years, and it's been replaying. And I was there. Gus, I should have never been there by myself. Okay, with no buzzer on the door and no security cameras. I should have never been there like that. And here's the thing. I remember Gus saying that they've been open for I don't know how long before then. And like I said, they're still open over 20 years now. Oh, this never happened before. Okay, listen, it only takes once. It only takes once. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And if you're a criminal, you're going to look for advantages. You're going to look for weakness. Okay. And if somebody, like I said, I do believe that young white male came in there and cased the place out, okay? And you were not around. People respected you, and they still respect you, but they didn't know me and they didn't respect me, okay? They saw a 23-year-old young punk probably by himself in a jewelry store, and I'm sure they looked around and they could see there was no cameras and there was, there's no buzzer on the door or anything. So, I'm just saying they look for opportunities, okay? And like I said, I should have never been there by myself, open up the store by myself with no security cameras and no buzzer on the door. Okay. That's the honest to God truth, Gus. That's the honest to God truth. Okay. If it's your store. And if you wanted to be there by yourself with no security cameras and no buzzer on the door by yourself, that's up to you. But when you have employees, you should look out for your employees, okay? And you can be mad at me all you want, okay? I know you are financially very well off. You know what I'm saying? I know you're respected, okay? And like I said, I'm not trying to badmouth Volusia Golden Diamond Pawn. I'm not trying to badmouth GHAZI Michael Osta, Gus Osta. I'm not trying to badmouth or bash. I am telling what I personally have went through for the last 20 years and what happened on, the morning of, Friday, April the 13th, 2002, okay? That I've had to live with, and I'm continuing to live with, and I don't see it stopping. Okay, to be honest with you, do I wish it would? Do I wish it would stop? Yes, I do. Have I had the money, over these 20 years to go to counseling, a psychiatrist for this? No, I have not. Okay, and gosh, you've never, that's another thing. I'm just saying, you've never once said, I'm sorry for leaving you by yourself there with no cameras and no buzzer on the door. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry for not showing you how to fire that gun. So you've never once apologized to me. And like I said, I've had 20 years of at least 1,000 flashbacks of this moment that I'm reliving again, and I've been reliving. So, I mean, you can think anything you want about me, Gus. You can think anything, you know what I'm saying? But the truth is the truth, okay? And like I said, I was gonna, and I was thinking about just writing a letter, or call and say, hey Gus, hey, it's been 20 years, you've never done anything for me, never. I've had to go through all this for 20 years, and you've never even said I'm sorry. You've never even said I'm sorry for, having you open the store up by yourself with no cameras and no buzzer on the door and not showing you how to work that gun. Never once have you apologized or anything. Never once. Never once you could have, just sent me something, and just said, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about, anything, but nothing. Zero. And look, I'm just going to say a couple years ago, whatever, I was in a very bad spot or whatever, and months later, we did talk on the phone or whatever, and yeah, Gus did say he would send me $200, because he had to pay his daughter's apartment in New York that he was paying $2,000 for, and I can send you $200. Listen, the main reason why I reached out to you, was to see if you would apologize, or if you would, if you know, about that day, or in anything, but no, absolutely nothing. And when you said I can send you a couple $100 or whatever, because you said, well, I can send you I can wire a couple $100 to Walmart or something, because you had to pay $2,000, a month on your daughter Pavlina, her apartment, in New York. And I said, no. I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Gus. Don't worry about it. I mean, that's what I said. A couple $100. I'm just saying. No, don't worry about it. That's what I told you. Don't worry about it, Gus. No, you keep that couple $100, and that was a couple years ago. That was around 2000, 16, 17, 18, 19. I don't even know, somewhere around there. 20. I don't know. It was, never mind. I sent you whatever. And I think you were overseas, and you said when you came back or whatever, you tried to get a hold of me, and then we did talk on the phone, and it was during COVID. So it had to have been, 2020. It was in 2020. Yeah. And when we finally talked, you said something about you could wire me a couple $100 to Walmart or something, and I said, no, don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it. Because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to extort you, and I'm not trying to blackmail you. And that's another reason why I didn't call and or send you a letter and say, hey, after 20 years and all this stuff or whatever, maybe you can send me a nice Rolex, men's Rolex for Christmas. I thought about doing that, but you know what? This is what I came up to. I don't ever want anybody, or you or anybody, Gus, GHAZI, Michael Osta, anybody saying that, that I was trying to blackmail or extort, because I didn't send him a Rolex, then he made this video or something, blah, 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 No, see, that's why I'm just making the video, because I thought to myself, it's been over 20 years and you have done absolutely nothing for me. Absolutely nothing for me. You offered me a couple $100 in 2020, 18 years after I almost died in your store, and no, you offered me a couple $100, and I said, no. I said, no, don't worry about it. You said, well, I'm on my cell phone. We're not supposed to be on our cell phones while we're on the sales floor, and you had to go and everything. So, I told you. I said, no. But then, like I said, I see the commercials, with Sienna, your beautiful daughter Sienna, and you're in the store, and you're showing Rolexes and everything, and it's almost Christmas, and your store is beautiful, Sienna's beautiful. I mean, you're dressed super nice tie, nice shirt. I'm sure you're wearing, probably a nice, Tridor Rolex masterpiece. Looks to be men's Rolex Tridor masterpiece with a factory diamond bezel and factory meteorite diamond dial. Yeah, that's the watch. I'm just saying, that's if I like I said, I want absolutely nothing, no harm or anything. I wish no ill will to GHAZI Michael Osta. I want nothing bad to happen to GHAZI Michael Osta or anybody in that store, or anybody associated with him. I'm just telling my story, what I've went through for over 20 years now. Well, just saying, in your store, when you put it on social media and you show off all those Rolexes and Pateks and, the 18 karat white gold Cartier, with the diamonds that you showed off in the latest video, showed off a men's two-tone, nice men's two-tone. As you said, they got boxing card, a men's two-tone Datejust, boxing card. You showed the Cartier 18 karat white gold and diamonds, and, I'm just saying, on your other social media page, you show all this extremely, extremely nice jewelry. In one post you said you're a very lucky man. You're a lucky man. Yeah, because in one picture you have at least probably $500,000 worth of jewelry in that picture. Okay. And yes, you are a blessed man. And no, I did not build that business. I didn't build that business. I didn't have to go there every single day. You know what I'm saying? I did not build that business. but I also didn't reap the benefits of that business either. I mean, how many Rolexes and Pateks and Vacherons and all the high-end fine Swiss timepieces, how many think you've dealt with in the last 20 years? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, just being in the jewelry business, and like I said, people can think whatever they want about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not money hungry or crazy, but if somebody is truly sorry, they can get a hold of that person. Oh, well, I didn't know. People. I didn't know where he lived. I don't know what's his phone number. I don't know nothing. Listen, it's modern times. It's not 1902. It was it was 2002 then. It's 2022 right now. If somebody really felt sorry and somebody really wanted to do something nice for somebody after 20 years, they could do it very easily, especially with modern technology. So that's, like I said, that's the reason why I didn't write or call and just say after 20 years, of all this flashbacks and almost dying in your store, why don't you send me a nice Rolex for Christmas and we'll call it even? Because like I said, I'm not trying to blackmail you and I'm not trying to extort you, and I thought to myself, I have been reliving this over and over. I've been reliving this nightmare over and over for 20 years now, and he doesn't even think about me. And if he does think about me, he doesn't even think about me enough or care enough, to call me and say he's sorry or just send me a nice little gift, whatever, and just say, listen, I'm sorry this ever happened. My apology. This is for you. No. So that's why I'm making this video after 20 years and several months. This is why I'm telling my story, okay? What I've been through. I mean, right now it's over an hour, 1 hour, 6 minutes and 42 seconds right now, okay? And I haven't even told the full story, okay? But like I said, I mean, I'm nobody. I'm poor, I have nothing. I'm poor, I'm in debt. Yes, I've made a lot of horrible decisions in my life, and like I said, would I absolutely love a Rolex? Would I absolutely love a Rolex? Would I actually love, Christmas morning to open up and see, it's a package from Gus over at VOLUSIA Gold and Diamond. Open it up and it's a nice men's Rolex, and with a card in there. I'm sorry for putting your life on the line. I'm sorry for. Yeah, I'm sorry for not taking care of you and putting your life on the line. Friday, April the 13th, 2002. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I had you open up the jewelry store by yourself, okay? With no buzzer on the door and no cameras and not even showing you how to use that gun, okay? So, but no, absolutely nothing. Here's this Rolex. Okay, I've bought, you've bought and sold probably. I mean, I don't even know. Like I said, I'm not trying to exaggerate. You've bought and sold, thousands of Rolexes over the past 20 years. And like I said, you were in business before then, and you're still in business. So you were making money then. You're still making money now. Yes, you have a beautiful store. You have absolutely beautiful merchandise. I brag about your store. I brag about your merchandise. I brag about you, okay? But if I don't even cross your mind, you offer me a couple $100, in 2020. I said, no, it's okay. You keep it. No, you keep it, Could I have used that couple $100? Absolutely, without any doubt. But no, you said you can wire me a couple $100 to the WAL-MART or something. No, Gus. I said, no, don't worry. Just keep it. So, but here, like I said, here I am. Okay. Here we are. Okay. Saul is on my right. I'm standing there. I'm putting sterling silver in that last showcase. It's right in front of the front door. Saul and I are talking. I'm putting the sterling silver merchandise in. Saul's on my right. The front door is in front of me. I don't know how many feet in front of me. Believe me, not a tremendous amount of. It's not extremely far away. That's for sure. And then I look up and I see, two people. I mean, I can't tell if they're male, female, or whatever. How can you tell when they're in a ski mask and long sleeve shirts and long pants and, they have guns in their hands and I believe they're wearing, black leather gloves or something like that, dark gloves. And I could see one person was holding a gun. The other person was actually putting the bullets in the gun. So I yelled to Saul. I said, Saul, Saul, and I moved to my left. And I remember them firing, shots at me. I really do. I remember them. I remember hearing gunshots. Okay. So I ran to my left. And like I said, I was in these dress shoes, slick sole dress shoes. And I moved to my left and I run. And right when I opened there was those swinging doors, like saloon doors, and this is April the 13th, 2002 on a Friday. Okay. I'm sure it's not like that now, but if it is, then yeah. So I moved to my left. There was a concrete pillar and then there was a desktop computer, and then there was swinging doors. So I ran to my left and I moved to my left. I said, Saul, and I moved to my left and I hear gunshots and I pushed through those swinging doors. And like I said, there was pawn merchandise. There right in front of that, used to be where like the larger pawn items would be. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody pawned, I'm just saying hypothetically a TV or something, something like that, that would go on those shelves right there. Okay. And then you had your office in the back, you had the bathroom, and you had that, that broom closet. Okay. The broom closet had a door on it, but it didn't even have the locks that were supposed to be on the door. It was just empty cutouts. And that's where I ran to. Okay. Now imagine this. I know Saul is out there. Saul, about 6 foot tall, 300 and something pounds. Saul, he's out there by himself with these people. He's, and I know, I heard gunshots, and I know, I know they're, I'm just saying, and he's out there by himself. I'm stuck in this, I'm stuck in this, and there was no light. Pitch black. The only light, I'm squeezed in there. It was a small broom closet, okay? This small broom closet, and I'm sitting, and the gun, I have the gun is in the holster. I'm trying to get the gun out. I'm trying to try to cock it, or and I can't get it to cock. I can't get nothing, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna die. I can't believe this. I'm 23 years old. I'm gonna die right now. I can't believe it. I'm gonna die right now. I am gonna die right now. I remember that's what I think, and I'm trying to get this gun to work, and in complete darkness, in this little broom closet, okay? And like I said, there was no locks on the doors. Just empty holes where the locks would go, And I'm just in there, and it's this little broom closet, dark, and I'm trying to get the gun, and Saul's out there with those people, and I heard gunshots already. And what am I gonna do? I'm like fish in a barrel. If they wanted to come around there, I had nowhere to run. I had nowhere to hide. Okay, I can't fire the gun. I can't defend myself. The gun will not cock. I cannot get the gun to cock, to load it or whatever, where I can defend myself. And the reason why I found out later is because the safety's on. Okay, I didn't even know how to turn the safety off. But next thing you know, I'm standing there, and like I said, over and over in my mind, I'm thinking they're going to come and kill me at any point. They can just shoot, if they can just shoot in here and kill me, or they can open up the door and just kill me because I have nowhere to run. Okay, I don't know how to work this gun. I'm stuck in this little broom closet, this dark, this like pitch black broom closet, dark broom closet, and the only light I can see is the light coming in from those holes. And Saul's out there, and I'm thinking to myself, and the next you know, I hear Saul's voice. He's calling my name, Brian. And I remember, I'm like, I didn't say anything because I thought to myself, they could be using him to get to me. You know what I'm saying? They could be using him as like a hostage or something and say, you're going to get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find him. They could have had him at gunpoint. To get me out. I don't say anything. Sorry. Sorry. I didn't say nothing. And then finally, like I said, this was before cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone on me. I didn't have a cell phone on me. This is 2002. I was 23 years old, and I didn't have any money in the first place. And back then, you had to have excellent credit, and good money to actually get a cell phone. So I just, and like I said, I remember thinking over myself, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. God, please forgive me of my sins. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Please, please, I remember just over and over, I'm thinking to myself, I'm 23 years old. I'm going to die right now. I'm going to die right now. But like I said, I had these dreams already. And I knew, it's like I knew walking in there, you know what I'm saying? But yet I needed the money, But by the grace of God, God protected Saul and I. God protected Saul and I. So finally, Saul is yelling for me. Saul's, Brian. I don't say anything. And then finally, I'm like, I have to come out. I have to come out. If he is yelling my name, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't know where I'm at, I mean, I don't know if those people are still out there. I don't know if they're using him to get to me. All I know is that he is alive, thank God. He's alive and he's calling my name. So finally, I don't forget how many minutes pass by that I don't say nothing. Finally, I just say, I have no choice. I have to answer him. And I did. I did. And I remember, I was just totally freaked out and he was freaked out. And I was just like, he was unharmed. And I in that article, it said a worker or an employee or something hid behind the counter. Well, Saul, that's what I'm saying, that article was not 100% correct. Saul was not a worker. Saul was not employed there. Saul was a very good friend of GHAZI Michael Osta, and he became a friend of mine. And Saul was a very, very kind person, very knowledgeable person when it came to fine Swiss timepieces and diamonds and gold and, buying and selling and all, so God bless Saul. But yeah, so I remember, I was just totally shook. And Saul, here's the thing. That's what you think to yourself, you have people, you have two individuals in ski mask and long sleeve shirts and long sleeve pants and gloves and with two guns, okay? And they're shooting at me, and 6 foot tall, approximately 6 foot tall, 300 something pound Saul is to the right of me, okay? And there at the front door, which is not even far away. I don't even know, 20 feet? I don't even know. I am not, don't hold me to that because I'm not, but it was not, it was not a far distance, when you walk in the front door, to the left is where like Eddie used to work there and like do jewelry repair and other stuff like that. To the left, there was a place there where now there was no jeweler on premises or whatever right there whenever I worked there in 2002, April the 13th of 2002. But when you walked in that front door, to the left, there was something there. And I believe there used to be like a jewelry repair. I believe Eddie or I think that was right there. But that's what I'm saying. So there was just that on the left-hand side, and then you walk a little bit further, and that's the first showcase where I was at and Saul was at, and put in that sterling silver. So it was not a tremendous, and when I yelled to Saul, he was still standing up. He was still standing up, okay? About 6 foot tall, 300 something pounds, bald, okay? And I believe he was probably in his 50s, approximately 50s then, so I'm just saying. And I yelled, Saul, and I moved to my left, and they was still standing up, and if they're coming through and they actually get the tray of jewelry that Gus said it was worth $1,000, well, then they would have had to, what I'm saying? I'm just saying, that was a miracle. That was a miracle. Thank God nothing happened to Saul. Thank God. And by the grace of God, nothing happened to me. But yeah, come to find out, to the best of my knowledge, yeah, they shot through the swinging doors that I ran through, because I know there was at least one bullet hole in the like around where those swinging doors were, and there was a concrete pillar. I believe there was gunshots in the concrete pillar, and there was gunshots in that desktop computer. But they were definitely shooting at me, and when they were shooting at me, they wanted to kill me. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It was attempted murder. Okay, it was attempted murder. So I don't care what the article says. Oh, people with ski masks or whatever, semi-automatic man just started shooting in a pawn shop and just took a tray of jewelry that was worth $1,000. That's bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm not trying not to curse on this, but that's bullshit. They didn't just come there. They didn't come there to just take one tray of to scare us or scare me or whatever. Because like I said, I was the only one there. Okay, when the only customer, when the only person came in, which was that young white male, I would say in his 20s or whatever, when he came in, there was no other customers after that. Okay, then Saul came in, and then shortly after this attempted murder robbery, attempted murder on me robbery happened. Okay, so, but I'm just saying, if there was cameras, I'm just saying, if Gus GHAZI Michael Osta had cameras, I would love to see all how this all went down. If there was cameras outside and at the door and in the store, you know what I'm saying, and all around or whatever, I would love to see how this actually all went down, because it happened so quick, and how did nothing happen to I mean, these people didn't know if Saul had a gun or not, if Saul was going to shoot them, and like I said, I've had so long to think about this over and over and over, and just it was by the grace of God, and like I said, I remember later on, I think I left. I don't think I ever worked there another day in my life again. I really don't. I remember that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's all a blur. It's like all a blur after. I don't know. It's I can't exactly tell you what happened whenever I saw Saul for the first time, and that he was not shot. Nothing bad happened to him, thank God, and he saw that nothing bad happened to me and I wasn't dead, or, that was just, there was, God worked a miracle that morning. God truly did work a miracle, And I remember one of us called the police or something, or one of us called, Gus. I think Saul called Gus, because I don't know, or somebody, I don't even know. But to make a long story short, the police came, and like I said, it's all a blur after that. But all I remember, this is what I do remember. I remember after, when the cops were there, I remember sitting down in the middle on the floor. I remember sitting down in the floor in the middle of where that horseshoe of jewelry showcases are. I sat down in the middle, like where the customers would be. I just sat down in the middle, on the floor, and I just sat there. I remember I was on my butt. I had my legs, kind of whatever, and I was kind of like holding my legs and kind of just, I was in like shock. I was in shock, you know what I'm saying? I was in shock. And I remember Gus coming in and asking me if I shot them. Did you shoot them? Did you kill them? Did you shoot them? Did you kill them? Something to that effect, And then whenever I told him, I said, I didn't have time. Or whatever. I remember he got upset, But he does not realize how fast it happened, And like I said, thank God Saul was there, because Saul talked to Gus. Saul talked to GHAZI Michael Osta, and, Saul and Gus were friends. So whatever Saul said, Gus believed, because he could believe Saul, because Saul was a good man. Okay. So I just thank God that I didn't have to explain it to Saul, because I'm just glad I didn't have to explain it to Gus, because I was in shock in the first place, and he was upset. I remember him saying, "Did you shoot him? Did you kill him?" And blah blah blah. Whenever I said I didn't have time or nothing, he got upset. But I think, and then that's when Saul said it just happened so quick and everything, and then he started. And like I said, I remember being paranoid. I remember being paranoid and just thinking for sure that these people were going to come back at any moment and finish me off. And I had to leave that store. I had to leave that store at some point, and I firmly believed that they would be waiting for me and they would finish me off, you know what I'm saying, before I ever got back home. And I made sure not to take the same route home. I made sure nobody was following me and everything like that. And when I left, I don't even know if I ever came back. I really, but honestly, like I said, I almost died. I mean, it was a miracle by the grace of God. Saul and I did not die that morning. Gus was nowhere around. He was fixing pancakes for his children, Saul and I were there with no buzzer on the door and no cameras, I opened up the store, by myself, which is, you shouldn't do. You should never, you should never open a jewelry store with all, with all that merchandise, hundreds of thousands of dollars of highly liquidatable merchandise, you know what I'm saying? Gold and diamonds, Rolex watches, but, yeah. So, but in 20 years, Gus has never apologized. Gus has never done anything to try to make it up for, Gus has never done anything to try to make it up to me for me almost dying in his store, April the 13th of 2002 on a Friday morning, And Saul's in heaven right now, God bless him. But I remember, I don't remember how much longer after that event, but I remember going to the flea market, because I used to go over and see Oscar over at Oscar's Estate Jewelry. And I remember one day going over there, and lo and behold, who was around Oscar? Saul. And I don't think I saw Saul since, I think that was the first time I ever saw Saul. It's that, yeah. So, Saul, S-A-W, and I think it's Saul, S-A-U-L, that was the first time since that, attempted murder, robbery, attempted murder happened, at Volusia Gold and Diamond, to both of us and everything. So, and we when we saw each other, we just started talking about it. And I can't say for sure that I gave him a hug, but I don't know. I very well might have. And, I know we definitely talked about it and smiled and said, I'm so glad that nothing happened to you. And by the grace of God, because I do believe that Saul was a religious man, and he firmly believed that by the grace of God and by a miracle, nothing happened to both of us, either one of us or both of us. So, but that was, the best of my knowledge, that was the last time I ever saw Saul. Was over whenever I was over at Oscar's Estate Jewelry, and he was around there, and I was around there, and so, but now, yeah, so now, oh, well, right now, this video is 1 hour and 27 minutes and 27 seconds. So, and this is December the 10th, Saturday, and it's 2022. And this is Brian Lee Horn, and I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth about what, to the best of my knowledge, like I said, I am not, I'm not trying to badmouth Gus. I'm not trying to badmouth GHAZI, Michael, OSTA. I'm not trying to badmouth Volusia Gold and Diamond. I'm just telling the truth of what happened to me and that I've had to live with for over 20 years straight now. And like I said, I don't see it ending, I just don't see it ending, and like I said, I said, if, over the past 20 years, I said, I've had 1,000 flashbacks. That's like 50 a year when there's 365 days, I'm just telling you, in the past couple days, I probably had at least 10. So, and like I said, sometimes I'll start thinking that, I'll be brushing my teeth. Looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden I'll relive this. I'll relive seeing them at the front door. I'll remember the gunshots. I'll be running. I'll be in the closet. I'll be, by myself, thinking I'm going to die at 23 years old, and trying to, get the gun to work. You know what I'm saying? So, Gus can be mad at me all he wants. He doesn't have to live this. I do, And like I said, never once has he done anything to just, just say, I'm sorry, here, I want you to have this. I know this will not make up for, 20 years of flashbacks and anxiety attacks and, depression and all the horrible nightmares, but I'm sorry, and I want you to have this. No, absolutely not. Not once in 20 years. And like I said, in 2000, when I, for one time or whatever, I got in a bad jam and I, whatever. And then, and I sent him a couple things asking if he can help. And if not, don't worry about it. I love you no matter what. I've always been nice and polite and respectful. And I'm trying to be nice, polite, and respectful in this video. Because like I said, I know Gus has a lot more money than I do. And I know he has a lot more power than I do. And I know he knows a lot more people than I do, okay? And I know he's got a reputation. I know he's got a beautiful store. I know he's got a tremendous amount of valuable merchandise in that store, okay? But there's no doubt in my mind that, like he should have always had, there are video cameras in there. I hope you have a buzzer on the door. I hope you have a panic button on you at all times. I didn't have a panic button on me. I didn't have nothing that alerted the police. I was stuck in that broom closet by myself, trying to get a gun to work that you never showed me how to work. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a panic button to alert the police. I had nothing to alert the police. I was in there. This is before cell phones. There was nothing. I was in there and I was like a fish in the barrel. I was thinking, I'm 23 years old, I'm going to die right now. But God, please forgive me of my sins. I remember I said, but God, please forgive me of my sins. And I'm saying it to I don't know if I'm saying it out loud. I'm definitely saying it in my, because I'm trying to be quiet, but I remember over and over and over. So, like I said, Gus, you have not had to live with this for 20 plus years. Okay. You did not, and I guarantee you, when you remodeled, there was bullet holes from where they tried to kill me. There might have even been bullets, unless the police took them out or whatever and tried to analyze them or whatever. But I know there were bullets. I know there were bullet holes. When they were shooting, and when somebody fires at you, and they're wearing a ski mask, and they're carrying semi-automatic guns, a ski mask, and long sleeve shirt and long pants and gloves or whatever, that is called attempted murder. Attempted murder. There's no two ways about it. If they would have shot me and killed me, it would have been murder. Okay. Like I said, by the grace of God, I did not die that day. By the grace of God, Saul did not die that day. By the grace of God, nothing. We never got shot. But sometimes the psychological effects, what I'm saying? Like right now, I've been making this video, and for 20 years I've been having flashbacks, and nightmares and anxiety and all that stuff. And it continues and it continues. But like I said, I came close to just calling you, Gus, and just, saying, hey, Gus, this is Brian, and, I just seeing how you're doing and just saying, hey, Gus, I don't mean any disrespect, and, you can get mad at me if you want, but why don't you just, you've done absolutely nothing for me in 20 years, I almost died in your store. I should have never been in your store by myself. I should have never been opening that store by myself. First off, I should have never been there by myself in the first place. Okay. And then without a buzzer on the door to let people in and out or whatever for security reasons, and without, any video cameras, security cameras, no panic button on me, no nothing. I had a gun, but you never showed me how to work the gun, so I've had to live with this for 20 years, and it still goes on. And you have built up your business, and you've made millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? You have a beautiful wife and beautiful children and a beautiful store with a tremendous amount of valuable merchandise. I'm just saying, what would it have taken, to just send me one of those thousands of Rolexes? And I'm sure you've dealt with thousands of men's Rolexes over the past 20 years, and like I said, you're still the store is still there, and you're still in business, and you're still there, and you were there before I ever came into the picture in 2002. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You've made millions of dollars over these past, 20 years, and you're still making money, you know? Like, what would it have took to just send me one nice men's Rolex, say for Christmas or something, these past 20 years, and just have a note in there, hey, Brian, I'm sorry. I just want to tell you I'm sorry, This is for you, your friend Gus at VOLUSIA Gold and Diamond, and I open up and it's a nice men's Rolex, I mean, right there, that would have been, I'm just saying, that would have been, if you would have said, listen, I know nothing can change, and take away what happened that morning. I know it's not going to stop your flashbacks and anxiety attacks and, you reliving the stuff over and over, But here, I wanted to give you this for Christmas, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I should have never, I had a responsibility, I had a responsibility to take care of you as my friend and my employee, but you didn't, you didn't. I'm just saying. And this is, I opened it up on Christmas morning. It's a nice men's Rolex. I put it on my wrist, and I just call you and say, listen, thank you so much. I mean, I sincerely appreciate it. I truly, truly do. And, this is, I sincerely appreciate it and thank you very much. And, I'm just saying, I know in me, I would have just said, listen, I mean, this is just, to me, that would have made us even. You know what I'm saying? That would have made us even, if you did something like that, hypothetically. But like I said, see, I was going to write you a letter or call you and ask and just say, listen, for Christmas this year after 20 years, and me having to live with this for 20 years and having at least 1,000, flashbacks and PTSD and all this negative thing, why don't you just send me a nice men's Rolex for Christmas and we'll call it even, But no, I didn't. No, I didn't write you. I did not call you, and I'm not making this video, I'm not making this video to get a Rolex because like I said, I'm not trying to extort you and I'm not trying to blackmail you. I'm just saying that would have been nice. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I have thought about this thousands and thousands and thousands of times. I mean, I can't even tell you over the past 20 years how many times I've actually thought about this, in a negative fashion, And you haven't had to deal with this, You've lived your life, you've made money, you've made a lot of money. You've seen your children grow up and be successful, Sienna, Pavlina, David, Fiona. You have a beautiful wife, beautiful house, beautiful store, beautiful merchandise, beautiful showcases. I'm sure you have security measures there. I hope to God you do, because like you say, that's never happened before. Listen, it only takes once. It only takes once. And I'm glad it did. I'm glad it did never happen before. And I hope it never happens again, Because like I told my friend Robert, who owned Castleberry Jewelry and Pawn, he had a sign on the door that said, nothing in here is worth your life. He had a buzzer on the door. He carried a gun, okay? And he meant it. Nothing here is worth his life. But see, he lost his life. He lost his life. Thanksgiving. He was taking merchandise out, He was taking merchandise out of his store and somebody got the jump on him, and he fought the guy. And the guy killed him. He killed him outside of his store because Robert tried to defend himself, and the guy went in the store and hid. And I think the SWAT team had to come out and get him, where Robert laid on the sidewalk and died, And I used to tell Robert all the time, you want to make your money, but what's the sense in making money if you don't leave and enjoy it? You know what I'm saying? Robert could have retired. He was in his 60s, and I always told him he should never work by himself, but he didn't trust anybody. It was, he trusted himself, and, like I said, I pray to God that nothing ever happens to you like it happened to me, And, you know, like I said, I've replayed this over and over. I mean, I did the right thing. I went there. I opened the store, because I needed the money. I needed the money. And I knew I would get fired if I didn't, But you should have never, you should never have had me open that jewelry store by myself with no cameras and no buzzer on the door and no panic button and me not even know how to properly work that gun, But by the grace of God, I didn't die. Thank God. And thank God Saul didn't die, so. But, well, I'm going to end it this way, Gus, I wish you the best. I wish your lovely wife, the best. I wish all your children the best. Sienna, Pavlina, David, and Fiona. You have beautiful children. You have talented and beautiful daughters and a handsome son. They're all very smart and talented. And you should be very proud like you are for sure. I know you're proud of them, and rightfully so. And I believe your wife's name is Leah. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. But I know your wife, the mother of your children are rightfully, proud of Sienna and Pavlina and David and Fiona, And I wish all y'all the best. I do. I wish absolutely no harm to come to anybody. And I don't want, and like I said, I'm not making this video to try to make, I'm not making this video to try to make you look bad, Gus. I'm not making this video to try to make you look bad, GHAZI Michael Osta, the owner of VOLUSIA Gold and Diamond, I'm not trying to, purposely degrade you, defile you, or, like what they do, like when somebody sues defamation. This is not defamation. This is the truth. There's a difference. Defamation is when you say something about somebody or something that's not true. This is true. Okay. So, you know what happened. I know what happened, And you have done nothing for me. You've done absolutely nothing for me in 20 years, Because, like I said, I have thought about this and probably at least I've thought about this. I don't even know. Like I said, I can't even say numbers, I mean, how many times have I thought, I'm just saying, how many times have I thought of you and the store and this event? I mean, I don't even know. Like I said, probably 10,000 times. If I've had 1,000 anxiety attacks or whatever, flashbacks, I probably thought about, full-fledged, flashbacks and anxiety attacks and PTSD and seeing everything just a way like a movie. Yeah, 1,000 times. But how many times have I thought of you and the merchandise and the stores and the Rolexes and, the Patek's and the Vacherons and the Cartiers and all the high-end and all the GI certified, diamond solitaires, I'm just saying, the loose diamonds, GI serve. You have a beautiful store. You have beautiful inventory. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's all beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's all beautiful, And like I said, I know I'm not the one that I don't own the store. Okay. I didn't build that store. I didn't have to go there day after day, month after month, year after year, decades after decades. Okay. I know that. Okay. And I'm not, like I said, this is why, I'm not trying to blackmail you, and I'm not trying to extort you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That to blackmail or extort somebody would be like, okay, if you don't, I want you to do this for me, and if you do this for me, I won't do this. Or if I want this, or I'm going to do this, whatever. That's blackmail, extortion, That's why I haven't called you, and that's why I haven't even sent a letter, to just say, hey, hey Gus, I know you don't think about me, and if you do think about me, you must not care about me much at all, because you've never done anything at all positive, to help me at all, I mean, believe me, I wish I had the money to go to a psychologist, to get help, to get therapy, you know what I'm saying, for these, flashbacks and, all the stuff that I've mentally, and mentally can affect you physically too, and spiritually, in all kinds of ways. So, but I don't know. So, but I mean, there's no doubt. Yes, you're a very lucky man, Gus. Just as you put in one of your social media posts when you took a picture of, about $500,000 of your own personal merchandise. Yeah, life is good. You're a very lucky man. Yeah. And like I said, that piece, that diamond on your solid, the solid gold jeweler's loop that you own and have worn for decades, on that square Turkish rope that you used to have, that very long square Turkish rope that you had your custom made loop on with the diamonds and the pigeon blood red ruby, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. You wear that solid 14 karat gold diamond and pigeon blood red ruby loop around your neck with that, and it has that solid 14 karat gold and diamond piece that I gave you. I gave you. You asked me for it. And you said, well, why don't I just give it to you? Why don't I just give it to you? And I gave it to you. You said you would put it on your loop, and you did. Like I said, even after I almost died there, I gave you that. I gave you that to wear on your own personal loop. The diamond, that piece of diamond piece. That's the diamond piece that's the first thing that they see. That's the top diamond piece on your solid 14 karat gold and diamond and pigeon blood red ruby jeweler's loop. And you wear that, and you've wore it, for many years now. Since you said, well, why don't I just give it to you? And I did. I didn't have money. I didn't have, I was needing money. I'm sure. And when I showed it to you, I'm pretty sure I was trying to sell it. I honestly, I didn't think I was gonna, I don't think I came there to just give it to you. But when you said, well, why don't you just give it to me? I did. I did. I just gave it to you. You said you were going to put it on your loop, but you did, and you've wore that. So you've had a piece of me there that whole entire time, and I'm still there, And like I said, those bullets and bullet holes were in those walls, the walls or whatever. When I was gone, those were still there, and you've made millions of dollars and all that stuff. And like I said, it's almost Christmas time right now, but I don't even cross your mind. And if I do, I don't cross it enough to ever do anything, for you to ever do anything nice for me, and just be like, I'm sorry for putting your life on the line and risking and putting you in that situation where you almost died, because I shouldn't have been there. As the owner, the owner of a business, if you choose to be there, like I said, at that time or whatever, as the owner of the business, if you chose to come there and open the store by yourself, okay, and you chose to not have a buzzer on the door, and you chose not to have cameras, and if you chose not to have a panic button or whatever, that's on you. But you have an obligation when you have employees to take care of their health and well-being and safety first and foremost, okay? I need the money. I need the job. I showed up. I almost died. It's been over 20 years now. I've had at least 1,000 flashbacks of that morning. It has haunted me for 20 years, and like I said, I don't see it stopping. But never once have you. All you would have had to do, like I said, in 2020, I asked for, I said, if you could help me or whatever, and blah blah blah. You were overseas or whatever, and then I got a hold of you. You offered me a couple $100 to wire a couple $100 to Walmart. Because you had to pay Pavlina's apartment $2,000 a month in New York. I said, no, Gus, that's okay. I thought to myself, could I have used that little couple $100? Absolutely. But no, that's to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to be rude, because like I said, I respect you. You have a lot of money. You have a lot of power. I have nothing, I have nothing. I own nothing. I'm in debt. I don't have a Rolex. I don't have, I'm just saying, so I'm not trying to, but I'll be, I'm just saying, if I need to be a martyr, you know, for people like me, in situations like me, then so be it. I've had to come to terms with that when I decided to make this video. I had put off this video for so long, and I've been putting it off, thinking that, maybe you'll send something in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you'll send something in the mail. I have kept on giving you the benefit of the doubt, and I almost didn't make this until, this is what's crazy. It's been 20 years, but I almost didn't make this video and put it out until after Christmas, to give you one more shot of doing the right thing. But, I was on the internet or whatever, and, just as, somebody said something, you think about something or somebody all this time, but that person doesn't even call that. You don't even cross that person's mind. I don't even cross your mind, Gus. That morning, April 13th, 2002, doesn't even cross your mind, but yet I have to live it every single, second, minute, hour, day, week, month, year, decade, And if I do cross your mind, you haven't done anything at all positive, Never once have you said you're sorry. Never once have you said you're sorry. And you have done nothing to try to just, like I said, in my dreams, I always hold out. I just always hold out because, like I said, in the jewelry business, to me, a Rolex, and I know there are far better fine Swiss timepieces than Rolex, like Patek, and Vacheron, and others, But to me, I'm just saying, if somebody has a lot of money, somebody has a lot of money in merchandise and they're financially able and, and if they really want to just give somebody something that's a meaningful gift, I just, like I said, I came so close to not even making this video until after Christmas. And because I still have this pipe dream that I'll get a knock on the door or something, and it'd be like FedEx or UPS, it's a package from VOLUSIA Diamond, and I sign it or whatever, and it's a big package, and then I open it up and, there's a letter from you. Just, hey, I'm truly sorry. I'm truly sorry about what happened, April the 13th of 2002. I know nothing's going to take it back or make it better, but please accept this, your friend, Gus. And I open it up and it's a nice men's Rolex, and I'm so happy and I'm just, I'm over the moon, I still, like I said, I still hold out hope, but I've held out hope for 20 years, and I just feel so stupid. I feel so stupid for holding out hope again. It's like, that's why I have to make this video, and that's why I have to post this video, because I don't even cross your mind. And if I do, I don't cross your mind enough to do the right thing. So, but like I said, I wish you, GHAZI Michael Osta, Gus Osta, I wish you and yours the best. Your wife, lovely wife, Leah, I hope I'm not pronouncing her name wrong. And your beautiful kids, Sienna, Pavlina, and Fiona, your beautiful daughters, and your son, David, handsome, talented, smart. All your children, you're very blessed. And, you and your wife are blessed, and I know y'all know it. And I know you're, so I'm just saying, I will be the first to say, and I've said it so many times. Oh, no, excuse me, I got a cough. Sorry. Okay, sorry. What I was going to say is, my name is Brian Horn, okay? I am a I'm a sinner. Okay, I'm a Christian, but I am a sinner. Okay, and I have sinned countless times, and I am not trying to put myself on a pedestal by any means. Okay, I'm not. Like I said, I mean, compared to you, Gus, I mean, your house, I'm just saying your house, or you and your wife, or, I'm just saying y'all's house, your children, you know what I'm saying? The business, the merchandise, the vehicles, I'm just saying the vacations and the dinners and the memories. I'm just saying, I am nothing. I am absolutely nothing compared to that. Okay. Like I said, I have made a lot of bad decisions in my life, and I am a habitual sinner, and I deserve hell, but by the grace of God, I pray he allows me into heaven, not by anything that I've done, but by him dying on the cross for my sins. Okay. And by his mercy and grace, and by living a perfect life and shedding his perfect blood for my sins. Okay. So by no means am I trying to talk down, or, I'm just saying, I'm not trying, and I wish no ill will to anybody, anybody. I'm just going to say that. I wish no ill will to anybody of anybody's name or anything in this video. Whoever's names I've named, I wish no ill will towards you, I wish nothing bad to ever happen to anybody that any name that I've ever mentioned in this video, or the establishment or anything else. Okay. And, this is not defamation. It's not defamation whenever I'm telling a true story about what happened to me. Okay. Like I said, this is a documentary. It's a documentary because it's firsthand account of what happened to me personally and Saul. But since Saul has passed away, God bless him. He's in heaven. I pray to God, and Saul was an honorable man. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So God bless you, Gus. God bless you, Leah. I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. God bless you, Sienna. I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. God bless you, Pavlina. I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. God bless you, David. And God bless you, Fiona. And, God bless Volusia Golden Diamond, So, I'm just saying, if I died, I want my voice and the truth to be known, and that's why I'm making this. Right now, this video is 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 25 seconds, 26 seconds, 27 seconds. And this is December the 10th, 2022. It's a Saturday. And right now it is 3:54 in the afternoon. And this is Brian Horn. My name is Brian Horn. And today is December the 10th, 2022. And I am making